Hello and welcome back to my How to Mod FE tutorial series. Let's see. Um, so I guess some people were having some problems with the basic idea of how to mod. Um, First things first, back up any file that you want to change, or better yet, just sort of take the file that you want, make a copy of it, put it on your desktop, open it in Notepad and change that. As far as sort of like design and structure, I like to keep this little sort of to-do list open where I can jot down any ideas or paste code that I might want to use later, and so on. See, like here I have a list of events I'm going to add. Ill-Tempered Steel, it's a little pun, play on words. That's basically just going to sort of have a, I think it's going to be a Gildan-based random event, where a whole bunch of iron golems that you've been creating sort of get out of control and are let loose on the world. Things like that you need to remember. There's some summons for the Gosha mod here. These are some design ideas for the different tech trees, things like that. Anyway, so basically what I do is I keep my to-do list sort of at the top, and then as I fix stuff like that, I sort of move it down here, and then I know what to put in my changelog. If you're doing a continued sort of serviced mod, that's very helpful, I think. Alright, so, I don't know, so most people, like, you should start out, you're making a mod, start out with modding a basic weapon. This is incredibly easy to do. You're gonna go over here, you're just gonna be adding a weapon to the game. So you'll go to core weapons. So how do you choose which weapon to copy? Because you're just basically gonna be copy-pasting. So first I guess we'll set up our container here. Just need to put container, and then another one with a slash. Alright, I can still type. That's good news. Put a little space in there. Tab out once. Alright, so now you're set up to add content. What kind of weapon do you want to make? Well, one thing the game doesn't have is a sort of like a unique battle staff, which would be kind of cool for Tarth. So I'll take the standard staff here, do a Control-C there to copy it, go over to my new file, click Control-V, and now I've got my template. Oops. Actually, there doesn't have to not be a space here, but I don't like to leave spaces. So, let's see, you'd go to language, click XML so that it starts getting all colored and stuff. I guess you could also save it as XML. Here you choose XML as the save type. We're gonna call this weapons Weapons of the Moors, because the Moors love staffs. Not everyone knows that, but they were big staffers. Okay, so there's some stuff that you probably at some point will want to learn about the XML that actually makes up a weapon. Display name, internal name. So this is I don't know, gonna be Moorish staff, or if you want to follow the dev's sort of style, it would be staff underscore Moorish. And then in display name, this is what the game actually shows the user, so you'd say Moorish staff that way. Here you have the description, masterful staves such as this only existed in legend. That is, until I guess, or so it was thought. Common and deadly. Alright, so then you have a description. So the weapon type is a meaningful XML. It sort of decides what sort of slot it fills up, I believe, on the unit. So weapon is your weapon hand, defense is your shield hand. So if you want a two-handed weapon, for type's sake, you need to specify weapon and defense. Weapon type spear lets the game know that it uses all of the same affixes that a spear would use. Can be equipped equals 1. So yes, you do want people to be able to equip this item. Additional trading turns is fancy speak for how much labor to build. So 5 labor is the bare minimum for my mod at least. Let's make this, I don't know, say 15. So that's 15 times whatever soldiers in the unit that you created. So if you have a party, that'll only be 35, but that'll go up. Shop value, I think it's times 10, so whatever you choose here, times 10 will be how much purchasing cost is. Let's make it, we're 6 gold. And then the shop value is how much you actually sell it for, if you find one. So then you have the game modifiers, and these basically decide what the weapon's attributes are. Mod type, unit, specifies that it's going to make a change to the unit that has the item equipped. Attribute, adjust unit stat. There's several stats in the core unit stats file. One of them is unit stat attack blunt. Sorry about that. Unit stat attack blunt, which is going to be value 6 for a normal staff in my mod. So this is a Moorish staff. It's going to do more damage. Let's say maybe 15 damage. And then you would change this to unit stat attack cutting, attack fire, and so on for any attack type that you want to do. Actually, unit stat attack poison is an interesting stat because it means it'll ignore armor. But you'd have to add an additional tag to say per turn 1, so that the game knows to apply that poison additionally each turn as opposed to each time the unit is struck by the attack. Which is kind of an interesting way to choose to do it. Here we have adjust unit stat, defense blunt. So I like to think that a staff is a good weapon because it affords you a little bit of defense as well as attack. So pretty much every staff in the game gives you 4 defense, but this is a special Moorish staff, so it gives you 6 defense. And then you do that for each defense type, defense blunt, cutting, and pierce. So we'll do 6 for each. And then you have the just unit stat current weight. This is how much the weapon's going to weigh. This is going to be a heavy staff, so we'll say weight 10. Is available for sovereign customization. If you change this to 1, it will, or delete the tag entirely, it will allow it to be chosen by custom sovs when they are being made. If you added an additional tag that says cost equals 1, then it will take 1 to whatever you choose for the value, so that they can spend customization points to get one. Rarity display is common. If you wanted to show up in loot, you'd think that common would do it, but that actually, in general, won't do it. What you have to add here is another tag called likelihood, which is basically just likelihood is the name of the tag. And then you would do, let's see, common I think is 400 for the value. So you just do likelihood equals 400 for common. If you want to make it uncommon, it would be likelihood equals 200. Rare is likelihood equals 100 or 50. And basically the way that the game does that is each time you have a chance to get an item, it rolls for every item in the game or something like that, and the highest roll is the item that you get. However, I suspect that it actually rolls all of that stuff at the beginning of the creation of the item, so, or of the lair or goodie hut. So let's say you start the game and there's a series of goodie huts around you. It's my supposition that the game actually, during the world creation, has decided the item for each thing on the map. And then every time that you sort of do a quest, that sort of stuff is chosen as soon as the goodie hut is created or the quest is finished. Otherwise, it seems like it would take up too much time to constantly evaluate stuff like that. AI priority. We're not totally sure if all these AI priorities work, but this one happens to be set at 79 for some reason. I'm not really sure why. The AI doesn't... Oh, okay, this one does work. It says AI preference type blunt. So, if your AI is, or if your hero is being used by the AI and it has the chance to pick from several different weapons, the highest AI priority will be the weapon it chooses. And it will actually know if the unit wants a blunt weapon or a pierce weapon, and so on. So in this case, it would really want to choose this item if the hero was indeed going for blunt weapons. So that's pretty good as far as usability goes. So yeah, so then you've saved your new and wonderful file here. It's going to be wherever you put the file, which I think I left mine right here. Weapon of the Wars. Let's say you put it on your desktop. Then you'd open your user directory, which is My Documents, Fallen Enchantress, etc. and so on. You would put the file in here. You can put it just right out here in the open, or you can put it in the items folder or the mods folder. I'll probably put it in the mods folder. The next time I start the game, I'll have the weapon available. Now there's a few sort of quirks that aren't really shown here. Oops, that's weird. Okay, so you go to core weapons. See, this weapon is made from the staff, and the staff is the most basic weapon in the game because it doesn't have any prereqs or anything. Let's see. Monk staff actually has some more interesting stuff. So you do production requirement is how much metal or crystal you want to cost. In this case, it's 2 refined crystal for a monk staff. You could change refined crystal to metal or gildar, really, if you wanted, to add a little bit of extra cost to an item. See, all these are using unit stat, counterattack, dodge, etc. Prereqs. I'll cover prereqs in a different video, but basically this is a prereq for attack, and then it's charms, which is the first tech in the game for magic. And that is stuff that you can add. If we go to a little bit more valuable staff, Staff of the Haunter. See here they have a tag that says Hero Only. That means that it is not available for unit design. So you can add that to a weapon if you don't want it to be used for units. However, there could also be a weapon that you think should be available for them. So you could add a prereq for attack, and then just delete the hero only. See, here's the likelihood tag I was talking about. It's right there. The next part of weapons, I guess, to talk about would be the art def. This is sort of like copy-paste sort of material. You probably aren't going to be making this stuff unless you're such an advanced user that you don't need my help. So if you want to use the Staff of the Haunter art def for this new Moorish staff, you would simply copy-paste the entire art def. So you do Control-C, go over here, and then just replace this art def. And now it's going to look all fancy like a Haunter staff. Oh, and then there's another prereq unit stat level. So you can prereq basically, I think, any unit stat, which I forgot to cover in the prereqs tutorial because I didn't know. But that's kind of an interesting thing. I guess you could say you could prereq unit stat fire damage. So if you already have 6 fire damage, you can equip a fire weapon that will enhance it. Things like that that's sort of more complicated and less useful can also be done. So that's sort of interesting, I guess. But that's something you'd have to test out for yourself. I'm not entirely sure it works for anything but unit stat level. But the upshot is you can copy-paste this in there and require levels for different things. For some cheeky reason, I've decided to change the level prereq for this item to 1, which every unit already has. So that might have been a... Not sure why I did that. I'm sure I had a reason, though. A lot of times I have reasons for things and then I forget the reasons, but I generally trust myself. Here, this one's at 4, so there's some logic to it. Alright, so that's basically all you need to know about making a weapon. My advice, start making a weapon, then go on to armor, make an armor in the same way that you made a weapon, and so on and so forth. Then next go to items, and once you have an idea of how to make those things, then maybe I'll come up with a video for more complicated stuff like how to make your own faction or race, and so on and so forth. But I think for now, just the basic ideas there are pretty useful for just sort of like a starting concept, and then you can figure the rest out yourself. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to message me in the forums or just write it in this thread, and I will go ahead and try and answer it. So I guess that's all for now. Thanks for watching the vid.